-15 degrees in Fargo, while Tampa prepares for a hard freeze that could devastate citrus crops. How prepared is your city for what the models are now calling a once-in-a-decade winter storm? Because what I am about to show you in the next 25 minutes is going to completely change your weekend plans. And honestly, if you are in certain areas, it might change your entire next week. We have got a developing situation that has meteorologists across the country watching their screens in disbelief. And I am going to break down every single detail, show you frame by frame what is coming, and tell you exactly when you need to be off the roads. But first, I need something from you. Comment your location right now, city and state, because tomorrow morning I am going through every single one of those comments and giving you a detailed, personalized forecast based on the overnight model runs. All right, timing first because I know that is what matters most. Tri-Cities, Tennessee, snow arrives Friday evening at 6 p.m. Asheville, Friday night at 8 p.m. Spartanburg, Saturday morning at 6:30 a.m. Florence, South Carolina, Saturday at 11 a.m. Elizabeth City, North Carolina, Saturday at 2 p.m. Cape Cod, Sunday at noon. Now, let me tell you something that is absolutely fascinating about this setup, and this is something I have not heard many other meteorologists talking about yet. We have got what is called a neutral to negative tilted trough dropping down from Canada. And when I say dropping down, I mean this thing is going to dig so far south that we are going to see snow chances, actual snow chances, in places like northern Florida. But here is the really interesting part. This trough is going to phase, and I will explain what that means, with subtropical moisture streaming up from the Gulf of Mexico. When you get phasing between a strong northern stream trough and a southern stream moisture feed, that is when you can get explosive development. That is when storms go from interesting to historic. And right now, every single piece of the puzzle is lining up for that to happen. Let me show you what the atmosphere looks like right now and why we are in this position. We have got a massive ridge of high pressure parked over Greenland. That ridge is blocking the normal west to east flow of the jet stream. Instead, the jet stream is being forced to buckle southward over eastern North America. At the same time, we have got another ridge building over the eastern Pacific. So we are essentially in a pattern where we have ridges on both sides of North America and a deep trough right down the middle. Meteorologists call this a Rex block pattern in some configurations, but what is happening here is more of a highly amplified omega block. The result is the same. Arctic air is flooding southward with nowhere else to go. The polar vortex is not just visiting the United States, it has basically moved in and set up camp. Here is what is going to happen hour by hour. And I am going to be very specific because this timeline matters. Right now, Thursday evening, as I am recording this, we have got a weak impulse moving through the Great Lakes. That is going to bring some light snow to parts of Michigan, northern Ohio, Pennsylvania, upstate New York, overnight Thursday into Friday morning. Nothing major, maybe a coating to 2 inches in most spots. But that system is important because it is reinforcing the cold air. It is getting temperatures down. It is cooling the column, and it is setting the stage. Then on Friday, things start to get interesting. We are going to see a more significant piece of energy start to rotate around the base of that big trough I mentioned. By Friday afternoon, that energy is going to be moving through the Tennessee Valley. Light snow is going to start breaking out across eastern Tennessee, far western North Carolina, maybe even extreme northern Georgia by Friday evening. At the same time, we have got moisture beginning to stream northward out of the Gulf of Mexico. Dew points are going to start rising across the deep south on Friday. Normally that would spell rain, but the air is so cold, so deeply cold, that this moisture is going to be converted to snow over a huge area. Friday night is when the magic happens. That is when our coastal low is going to begin to develop, and the exact location where that low forms, whether it is off Savannah, off Charleston, off Wilmington, that is going to determine who gets buried and who gets disappointed. Right now, the best model data we have, the European model, is showing that low forming right around the Charleston to Savannah latitude early Saturday morning. If that verifies, and that is still a big if because we are talking about 3 days out, but if that verifies, we are looking at potentially crippling snow from the South Carolina low country up through eastern North Carolina. But let me talk about model disagreement for a minute, because this is important and you need to understand where the uncertainty lies. The European model has been remarkably consistent. For the last 4 or 5 model runs, it has been showing this coastal low developing, intensifying rapidly, and tracking up the coast just offshore. Snow totals on the Euro have been impressive, and in some cases almost unbelievable. We are talking about widespread 8 to 12 inches across the Carolinas, with some areas potentially seeing 15 to 18 inches. The Euro has Cape Cod getting absolutely destroyed, 20-plus inches with hurricane-force winds. It is an aggressive forecast, but the Euro has earned credibility on these types of setups. The GFS, the American model, has been less consistent. Earlier in the week, it was showing the storm tracking further offshore, which would have meant less snow for inland areas and more snow concentrated right along the immediate coast. Then, yesterday, it shifted west, brought more snow inland, started looking more like the Euro. This morning's run shifted back east slightly. Tonight's run is going to be critical. If the GFS continues to trend toward the Euro solution, confidence is going to go way up. If it shifts back offshore, we are going to have to really think carefully about how much snow to forecast for inland areas. I will have that analysis for you first thing tomorrow morning. Now let me go through this region by region, city by city, because I know you want specifics. I am going to cover over 70 cities, and I am going to vary how I present the information so this does not get monotonous. Let's start in the mountains and work our way down to the coast, then head north. Johnson City, Kingsport, Bristol, the Tri-Cities of Tennessee. You are going to be among the first to see snow. This starts for you Friday evening around 6 p.m., light at first, picking up in intensity overnight Friday into early Saturday morning. By Saturday afternoon, you could have 6 to 10 inches on the ground. The higher elevations around Roan Mountain could see 10 to 14 inches. This is going to be that fluffy light snow because temperatures are going to be in the teens. Boone, North Carolina, home of Appalachian State. You are up at elevation and you are going to get hammered. Snow starts Friday evening around 7 p.m., becomes heavy overnight, continues through much of Saturday. Boone, I think we are looking at 12 to 18 inches. Blowing Rock, Banner Elk, the higher elevations of Watauga and Avery counties, 15 to 20 inches is possible. This is going to be incredible snow for skiing, but it is also going to be dangerous for travel. Do not try to drive up or down the mountain Saturday. Asheville, you are in the mountains but in a valley, so your totals might be slightly less than the highest peaks, but you are still going to see significant snow. This starts Friday night around 8 p.m. Heavy overnight into Saturday morning, tapering off Saturday afternoon. Asheville proper, 10 to 16 inches. Hendersonville, south of Asheville, 8 to 14 inches. Waynesville west toward the Smokies, 12 to 18 inches. Black Mountain, Swannanoa, east of Asheville, 10 to 15 inches. Power outages are a real concern for you because this is going to be heavy, wet snow in some areas where temperatures are closer to freezing. Greenville, South Carolina, the upstate, you are in the foothills and you are going to see substantial snow. This arrives Saturday morning around 6:30 a.m., becomes heavy mid-morning, continues through Saturday afternoon and evening. Greenville, I am thinking 9 to 15 inches. Spartanburg to your east, 8 to 14 inches. Anderson to your west, 7 to 13 inches. Clemson, 7 to 12 inches. And up toward the North Carolina border, places like Travelers Rest, Landrum, you could see 12 to 17 inches because of terrain enhancement. This is going to be a top 5 snow event for the upstate, possibly top 3. Greenwood, South Carolina, south of Greenville, 6 to 11 inches Saturday. Lawrence, 6 to 10 inches. Gaffney, on the I-85 corridor between Charlotte and Spartanburg, 7 to 12 inches. Union, 6 to 10 inches. Now let's drop down toward Columbia. Columbia, South Carolina, the state capital, you are in what could be the absolute sweet spot for this storm. Every model we have, I mean every single one, is showing significant snow for you. The question is not if you are going to get snow, it is how much. Snow arrives Saturday morning around 7 a.m. Light at first, but by 9 or 10 a.m., we are talking moderate to heavy snow. This continues through Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, possibly into Saturday night. Columbia. My forecast right now is 8 to 14 inches. Some of the model data is even more aggressive than that, showing 16 to 18 inches. I am going to be conservative and say 8 to 14. But understand the potential is there for this to be historic. The last time Columbia saw a foot of snow was February 2014, the ice storm and snow combination. Before that, you have to go back to the late 80s or early 90s for a pure snow event of this magnitude. This is generational snow for Columbia. Lexington, just west of Columbia, 7 to 13 inches. Irmo, northwest suburbs of Columbia, 8 to 14 inches. West Columbia, Casey, right across the river, 8 to 13 inches. Sumter, east of Columbia, 6 to 12 inches. Camden, northeast of Columbia, 7 to 12 inches. Newberry, northwest of Columbia, 6 to 11 inches. Orangeburg, south of Columbia, 4 to 9 inches. Rock Hill, South Carolina, on the border with North Carolina south of Charlotte, you are looking at 7 to 12 inches starting Saturday morning around 8 a.m. Fort Mill, just north of Rock Hill, 7 to 11 inches. York, west of Rock Hill, 6 to 10 inches. Now let's talk about the coast of South Carolina. Charleston. This is very unusual for you. You do not see snow often, and when you do, it is typically a dusting. But this time could be different. Snow arrives Saturday around 11 a.m. Minden becomes moderate Saturday afternoon, heavy at times, Saturday evening. Charleston, I think you are looking at 3 to 7 inches. That might not sound like a lot compared to what Columbia is going to get, but for Charleston, that is massive. Your bigger issues are going to be wind and coastal flooding. Sustained winds of 35 to 45 miles per hour, gusts to 60 miles per hour Saturday night. That is going to push water into the low country. We are going to see significant coastal flooding. Mount Pleasant, across the Cooper River, 3 to 7 inches. Somerville, northwest of Charleston, 4 to 8 inches. Goose Creek, 4 to 8 inches. Beaufort, South Carolina. Down on the coast, you are going to see some snow, but not a lot. 2 to 5 inches Saturday. Hilton Head, 1 to 4 inches. And honestly, you might see more rain mixing in than snow. But the wind is going to be an issue for you too. Myrtle Beach, Grand Strand. This is where things get wild. You are going to be right on that line between moderate snow and potentially very heavy snow. Snow arrives Saturday around 10 a.m. My becomes heavy Saturday afternoon and evening. Myrtle Beach, I am going with 5 to 11 inches. North Myrtle Beach, 6 to 12 inches. Conway, inland from Myrtle Beach, 7 to 12 inches. And the wind, oh, the wind. We are talking about sustained winds of 40 to 50 miles per hour, gusts to 70 miles per hour Saturday night. This is going to be blizzard conditions. Whiteout conditions on Ocean Boulevard. This is not a joke. Do not be out Saturday night in Myrtle Beach. Florence, South Carolina, inland, you are in a really good position for heavy snow. This arrives Saturday around 11 a.m. Heavy Saturday afternoon and evening, continuing into Sunday morning. Florence, 7 to 13 inches. Darlington, north of Florence, 7 to 12 inches. Marion, east of Florence toward the coast, 8 to 13 inches. Dillon, near the North Carolina border, 8 to 14 inches. Now let's jump up to North Carolina. Charlotte, the Queen City, you have been waiting to hear your forecast. Snow arrives Saturday morning around 9 a.m. Light at first, picking up in intensity by late morning and early afternoon. Heavy snow Saturday afternoon and evening, tapering off late Saturday night or early Sunday morning. Charlotte proper, Uptown, South End, NODA. I think you are looking at 7 to 12 inches. That is a wide range, I know, but here is why. If that coastal low forms just slightly further west than currently forecast, you could be on the higher end of that range. If it forms further east, you will be on the lower end. North Charlotte University area, Huntersville, Cornelius, Davidson, 7 to 13 inches. South Charlotte, Ballantyne, Pineville, 6 to 11 inches. East Charlotte, Matthews, Mint Hill, 7 to 12 inches. West Charlotte, Gastonia, 6 to 11 inches. This is going to be a significant snow for Charlotte. School will be canceled Monday, possibly Tuesday. Do not plan on going anywhere Saturday or Sunday. Kannapolis and Concord, northeast of Charlotte, you are right in that 7 to 12 inch range. Salisbury, north of Charlotte, 6 to 11 inches. Statesville, northwest of Charlotte, 6 to 10 inches. Shelby, west of Charlotte, 5 to 10 inches. Monroe, south of Charlotte, 6 to 11 inches. Now, the Triad. Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point. You guys have been in a snow drought. This is going to end it. Snow arrives Saturday morning around 9:30 a.m., becomes heavy Saturday afternoon, continues into Saturday night. Greensboro, I am thinking 6 to 11 inches. Winston-Salem, 5 to 10 inches. High Point, 6 to 10 inches. Burlington, east toward Raleigh, 5 to 10 inches. Asheboro, south of Greensboro, 5 to 9 inches. Lexington, west of Greensboro, 5 to 9 inches. Thomasville, 5 to 9 inches. Hickory, in the foothills west of Charlotte, you are going to get that elevation boost. 8 to 13 inches starting Saturday morning around 8 a.m. Lenoir, northwest of Hickory, 9 to 14 inches. Morganton, west of Hickory, 8 to 13 inches. Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, the Triangle. Okay, we need to have a serious conversation about your forecast because you are in the most difficult spot to forecast in this entire storm. You are right in the zone where atmospheric dynamics could either give you a lot of snow or cut your totals significantly. Here is what could happen. We have got the coastal low developing to your east. We also have energy back to your west. Sometimes these two features can interact in a way that creates what we call a dry slot. It is an area where precipitation just shuts off temporarily. The snow could be heavy to your east toward the coast, heavy to your west toward the mountains, but right in the middle where you are, there could be a lull. Some models are showing this, some are not. The European Model Ensemble Mean, which is an average of 51 different scenarios, is showing Raleigh getting 8 to 12 inches. But individual ensemble members range from 4 inches all the way up to 16 inches. That is a huge spread. My forecast for Raleigh right now, and understand this could change significantly tomorrow, is 6 to 11 inches. Durham, same thing, 6 to 11 inches. Chapel Hill, 5 to 10 inches. Cary, south of Raleigh, 7 to 12 inches. Apex, 6 to 11 inches. Wake Forest, north of Raleigh, 6 to 11 inches. But again, this is one of those forecasts where I could be off by quite a bit either direction. We will know a lot more tomorrow. Fayetteville, Cumberland County, you are getting into eastern North Carolina, and this is where confidence starts to go up on higher snow totals. Snow arrives Saturday around 11 a.m. It becomes heavy Saturday afternoon, continues into Sunday morning. Fayetteville, 8 to 14 inches. Fort Bragg, same area, 8 to 13 inches. Hope Mills, south of Fayetteville, 7 to 13 inches. Lumberton, south toward the South Carolina border, 7 to 12 inches. Wilmington, down on the coast, this is going to be absolutely incredible for you. The coastal low is going to be right offshore from you, pumping moisture right into your area. Snow arrives Saturday around noon, becomes heavy mid-afternoon, absolutely intense Saturday night. We are talking about whiteout blizzard conditions. Wilmington, I think we are looking at 10 to 16 inches. Wrightsville Beach, Carolina Beach, Cura Beach, 9 to 15 inches of snow right on the beach. This is going to be surreal. And the wind, sustained winds 40 to 50 miles per hour, gusts to 75 miles per hour. This is a legitimate blizzard. Do not go outside Saturday night. This is life-threatening weather. Leland, northwest of Wilmington, 9 to 14 inches. Hampstead, north of Wilmington, 10 to 15 inches. Jacksonville, home of Camp Lejeune, you are north of Wilmington on the coast, and you are going to get pounded. 9 to 15 inches starting Saturday around 1 p.m., blizzard conditions Saturday night. New Bern, further up the coast, 8 to 14 inches. Morehead City, Atlantic Beach, 7 to 13 inches. Havelock, 8 to 13 inches. Greenville, eastern North Carolina, home of East Carolina University. You are inland from the coast, and you are in a prime position. Snow arrives Saturday around noon. Heavy Saturday afternoon and evening. Greenville, 9 to 14 inches. Rocky Mount, northwest of Greenville, 7 to 12 inches. Wilson, west of Greenville, 7 to 12 inches. Kinston, south of Greenville, 8 to 13 inches. The Outer Banks. Okay, if you are on the Outer Banks this weekend, you need to leave. I am serious. This is going to be one of the most dangerous weather situations the Outer Banks has seen in years. Kill Devil Hills, Kitty Hawk, Nag's Head. Snow arrives Saturday around 2 p.m. Becomes extremely heavy Saturday evening and night. We are talking about 10 to 18 inches of snow with sustained winds of 50 to 60 miles per hour and gusts to 85 miles per hour. That is hurricane force winds during a blizzard. Power outages will be widespread and prolonged. Highway 12 is going to be impassable. Dare County is going to be cut off. Monteo on Roanoke Island 9 to 16 inches. Hatteras down on the southern Outer Banks 8 to 15 inches. Duck on the northern Outer Banks 11 to 18 inches. Elizabeth City, inland from the Outer Banks, you are going to get crushed too. 8 to 14 inches starting Saturday around 2 p.m. Blizzard conditions Saturday night. Now let's jump up to Virginia. Danville, on the North Carolina border, 7 to 12 inches starting Saturday around noon. Martinsville, 6 to 11 inches Saturday. South Boston, Halifax County, 7 to 12 inches. Roanoke. In southwestern Virginia in the valley, you are on the northwestern fringe of the heavy snow. Snow arrives Saturday around 10 a.m. Moderate Saturday afternoon. Roanoke. I think you are looking at 5 to 9 inches. Salem, just west of Roanoke, 4 to 8 inches. Blacksburg, home of Virginia Tech, you are up at elevation 6 to 10 inches. Radford, 5 to 9 inches. Christiansburg, 5 to 9 inches. Lynchburg. In central Virginia, this is going to be a decent snow for you. 6 to 10 inches starting Saturday around 11 a.m. Bedford. West of Lynchburg, 5 to 9 inches. Amherst. North of Lynchburg, 5 to 9 inches. Appomattox, east of Lynchburg, 6 to 10 inches. Charlottesville, home of the University of Virginia. You are looking at 5 to 9 inches starting Saturday around noon. The mountains west of Charlottesville could see a bit more. Richmond, the state capital. This is going to be significant. Snow starts late Saturday night, around 11 p.m. or midnight. It is going to be light at first, but by early Sunday morning, 2 or 3 a.m., we are talking heavy snow. This continues through Sunday morning and into Sunday afternoon before finally tapering off Sunday evening. Richmond proper, I think we are looking at 8 to 13 inches. The West End, Short Pump, Glen Allen, Henrico, 7 to 12 inches. The East End, Mechanicsville, 8 to 13 inches. Chesterfield, south of Richmond, 7 to 12 inches. Petersburg, further south, 7 to 12 inches. Hopewell, 7 to 11 inches. This is going to be a top 10 snow for Richmond, possibly top 5. Fredericksburg, between Richmond and D.C., 7 to 12 inches starting Sunday morning around 1 a.m. Stafford County, 7 to 11 inches. Spotsylvania County, 6 to 11 inches. Now, Hampton Roads, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Newport News, Chesapeake, this could be the biggest snow you have seen since 2016 or even earlier. Snow arrives Saturday night around 10 p.m., becomes heavy early Sunday morning, continues through much of Sunday. Norfolk, I am forecasting 10 to 16 inches. Virginia Beach, right on the coast, 9 to 15 inches. Chesapeake, 9 to 14 inches. Newport News, 10 to 14 inches. Hampton, 9 to 13 inches. Portsmouth, 9 to 14 inches. Suffolk, inland, 8 to 13 inches. Williamsburg, west of the metro area, 8 to 12 inches. And on top of all this snow, you are going to have wind. Sustained winds of 40 to 50 miles per hour, gusts to 65 miles per hour Sunday morning. The Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel will close. Coastal flooding is going to be significant. The Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, the Monitor Merrimack, all of the tunnels could have issues. Do not plan on traveling Sunday. Now let's head up to D.C., Maryland, Delaware. This is where the forecast gets really tricky because we are talking about that northern edge, that cutoff, and small changes in the track of the storm make huge differences. Washington, D.C., the district itself, you are right on the line. Based on current model data, I think D.C. is looking at 4 to 8 inches. That is a wide range because the uncertainty is high. This arrives Sunday morning around 3 a.m. Heaviest mid-morning Sunday, tapering off Sunday afternoon. Could be less than 4 inches if the storm tracks further east. Could be more than 8 if it comes west. We will know better tomorrow. Arlington, just across the Potomac in Virginia, 4 to 8 inches. Alexandria, 5 to 9 inches. Fairfax County, 5 to 9 inches. Annandale, Falls Church, 5 to 8 inches. Manassas, Prince William County, 4 to 8 inches. Loudoun County, Leesburg, Ashburn, Sterling, 3 to 7 inches. Loudoun is getting into the western fringe where totals drop off. Maryland. Let's go through this carefully. Silver Spring, just north of D.C., 4 to 8 inches Sunday. Rockville, Gaithersburg, Montgomery County, 3 to 7 inches. Bethesda, 4 to 7 inches. Prince George's County, Bowie, Largo, College Park, 5 to 9 inches. Hyattsville, 5 to 8 inches. Baltimore, you are looking at 5 to 9 inches starting Sunday morning around 2 a.m. Towson, north of Baltimore, 5 to 8 inches. Columbia, Maryland, between Baltimore and D.C., 5 to 9 inches. Annapolis, down on the Chesapeake Bay, 6 to 10 inches with coastal concerns. But now, the eastern shore of Maryland, this is where totals go way up. Salisbury, 9 to 14 inches Sunday. Cambridge, 8 to 13 inches. Easton, 7 to 12 inches. Ocean City, right on the Atlantic, this is going to be wild. 11 to 17 inches with blizzard conditions, wind gusts to 70 miles per hour. Coastal flooding, beach erosion. This is going to be a major event for Ocean City. Delaware, northern Delaware. Wilmington, you are looking at 6 to 10 inches Sunday. Newark, 6 to 9 inches. Dover, central Delaware, 8 to 12 inches. Milford, 7 to 11 inches. But the beaches, this is where it gets intense. Rehoboth Beach, Dewey Beach, Bethany Beach, 10 to 16 inches with blizzard conditions. Lewis, at the mouth of Delaware Bay, 9 to 14 inches. Wind gusts to 65 or 70 miles per hour. This is going to be incredibly dangerous. Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. You are looking at 6 to 10 inches starting Sunday morning around 5 a.m. Heavy mid-morning to early afternoon Sunday. Center City, 6 to 10 inches. South Philly, 6 to 10 inches. Northeast Philly, 7 to 11 inches. The suburbs, let's break them down. Montgomery County, King of Prussia, Norristown, 6 to 10 inches. Bucks County, 7 to 11 inches. Delaware County, 7 to 11 inches. Chester County, Westchester, 5 to 9 inches. Montgomeryville, Lansdale, Doylestown, 6 to 10 inches. Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton, the Lehigh Valley, you are looking at 5 to 9 inches Sunday. Reading, west of Philly, 4 to 8 inches. Lancaster, Amish Country, 5 to 9 inches. York, 4 to 8 inches. Harrisburg, the state capital, you are on the northwestern edge, 3 to 6 inches Sunday. State College out in central PA, 2 to 5 inches. Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, northeast PA, 4 to 8 inches. The Poconos could see 6 to 10 inches because of elevation. New Jersey, let me break this down north to south because there is a big gradient. North Jersey, Newark, Jersey City. You are looking at 5 to 9 inches Sunday. Patterson, Wayne, Passaic County, 5 to 8 inches. Bergen County, Fort Lee, Hackensack, 5 to 9 inches. Morristown, Morris County, 6 to 9 inches. Elizabeth, Union County, 6 to 9 inches. Central Jersey, New Brunswick, Middlesex County, 7 to 11 inches. Edison, 7 to 10 inches. Princeton, Mercer County, 7 to 11 inches. Trenton, the state capital, 7 to 11 inches. South Jersey, this is where totals really ramp up. Cherry Hill, Camden County, 8 to 12 inches. Gloucester County, Deptford, Woodbury, 8 to 12 inches. Burlington County, Mount Laurel, Moorestown, 8 to 12 inches. Salem County, 6 to 10 inches. Cumberland County, Vineland, Millville, 9 to 13 inches. Atlantic County. This is where we get into potential blizzard territory. Atlantic City, Right on the coast, 12 to 18 inches. Yes, you heard that right. 12 to 18 inches with sustained winds of 50 to 60 miles per hour and gusts to 75 miles per hour. This is going to be an absolute monster blizzard for Atlantic City. The expressway is going to be shut down. The casinos might lose power. This is serious. Egg Harbor Township, Pleasantville, 11 to 16 inches. Cape May, at the southern tip of New Jersey, 11 to 17 inches with extreme wind and coastal flooding. Avalon, Stone Harbor, Sea Isle City, Wildwood, all of these shore towns, 10 to 16 inches with blizzard conditions. New York City, the 5 boroughs. Manhattan, you are looking at 4 to 8 inches Sunday afternoon and evening. The Bronx, 4 to 8 inches. Queens, 5 to 9 inches. Brooklyn, 5 to 9 inches. Staten Island, 6 to 10 inches. The city is going to vary quite a bit from neighborhood to neighborhood based on proximity to water and elevation. Westchester County, White Plains, Yonkers, New Rochelle, 4 to 7 inches Sunday. Rockland County, Nyack, Spring Valley, 3 to 6 inches. Orange County, Middletown, Newburgh, 3 to 6 inches. Putnam County, 2 to 5 inches. Long Island, this is where we see that sharp gradient I have been talking about. Western Nassau County, Garden City, Hempstead, 7 to 11 inches. Eastern Nassau County toward the Suffolk border, 8 to 12 inches. Western Suffolk County, Islip, Ronkonkoma, 9 to 13 inches. Central Suffolk County, Brookhaven, 10 to 14 inches. Eastern Suffolk County, the Hamptons, Southampton, East Hampton, Montauk, 12 to 17 inches with wind gusts to 65 miles per hour. This is going to be a crippling snow for the eastern end of Long Island. Upstate New York, Syracuse, you are looking at 3 to 6 inches Sunday. Rochester, 2 to 5 inches. Buffalo, you might see 1 to 3 inches from the main storm, but then you are going to get lake effect snow after it passes, so you could see additional accumulation from that. Albany, 4 to 8 inches Sunday. The Hudson Valley, Poughkeepsie, Kingston, 4 to 7 inches. Connecticut, southwestern Connecticut, the Gold Coast, Stamford, Greenwich, Norwalk, Darien, 6 to 10 inches Sunday. Bridgeport, 7 to 10 inches. Fairfield, 7 to 10 inches. Danbury, 5 to 9 inches. New Haven, 7 to 11 inches. Waterbury, 5 to 9 inches. Hartford, the state capital, 5 to 9 inches. Manchester, Enfield, Vernon, 5 to 8 inches. Eastern Connecticut, this is where we get into higher totals. New London, Groton, Mystic, 8 to 13 inches with strong winds. Norwich, 7 to 11 inches. Willimantic, 6 to 10 inches. Danielson, 6 to 10 inches. Rhode Island, Providence, the state capital, you are looking at 7 to 12 inches Sunday into Monday. Warwick, Cranston, 7 to 11 inches. Pawtucket, 6 to 10 inches. Woonsocket, up near the Massachusetts border, 6 to 10 inches. But southeastern Rhode Island, this is where it gets serious. Westerly, Watch Hill, 9 to 14 inches. Narragansett, South Kingstown, 8 to 13 inches. Newport, on Aquidneck Island, 8 to 12 inches with significant wind. And now, the absolute bullseye of this entire storm, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. If you are on Cape Cod, you need to be preparing right now for what could be one of the worst blizzards in Cape Cod history. Snow arrives Sunday around noon, becomes heavy Sunday afternoon, absolutely extreme Sunday evening and night. We are talking about thunder snow. We are talking about snowfall rates of 3 to 4 inches per hour at times. We are talking about sustained hurricane force winds. Barnstable, Hyannis, 14 to 22 inches. Yarmouth, Dennis, 12 to 20 inches. Harwich, Chatham, on the elbow of the Cape, 15 to 23 inches. Orleans, Eastham, 14 to 21 inches. Wellfleet, Truro, Provincetown, on the outer Cape, 16 to 24 inches. And the wind, sustained winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour, gusts to 90 miles per hour. That is Category 1 hurricane winds during a blizzard. This is going to be catastrophic. Power outages will be widespread and will last for days. The Sagamore Bridge and the Bourne Bridge could close. If you do not need to be on Cape Cod this weekend, leave now. If you are staying, make absolutely sure you have everything you need because you are not going anywhere for several days. The islands, Martha's Vineyard, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, Vineyard Haven, 13 to 20 inches with hurricane-force winds. Nantucket, the island is going to get destroyed. 14 to 21 inches with sustained winds of 65 to 75 miles per hour and gusts potentially over 90 miles per hour. This is as serious as it gets. Mainland Massachusetts, Boston, the city itself, 7 to 12 inches Sunday afternoon and evening. But there is going to be a very sharp cutoff. The southern suburbs, Quincy, Braintree, Weymouth, 9 to 14 inches. Brockton, 8 to 13 inches. Plymouth, on the coast between Boston and Cape Cod, 10 to 15 inches. But as you go north and west from Boston, totals drop off. Cambridge, Somerville, 6 to 10 inches. Brookline, Newton, 7 to 11 inches. North Shore, Lynn, Salem, Peabody, 5 to 9 inches. Gloucester, Rockport on the tip of Cape Ann, 6 to 10 inches. Beverly, Danvers, 5 to 9 inches. Revere, Chelsea, Everett, just north of Boston, 6 to 10 inches. West of the city, Framingham, Natick, Marlborough, 5 to 9 inches. Worcester, out in central Mass, 4 to 8 inches. Springfield, western Mass, 2 to 5 inches. The Berkshires, 1 to 4 inches. New Hampshire, Manchester, Nashua, you are looking at 3 to 6 inches Sunday. Concord, the state capital, 2 to 5 inches. Portsmouth, on the coast, 4 to 8 inches. The seacoast region is going to see higher totals than inland areas. Dover, Rochester, 4 to 7 inches. Up north toward the White Mountains, North Conway, Lincoln, maybe 2 to 4 inches. Vermont, Burlington, you are way north of this storm. Maybe 1 to 3 inches Sunday. Montpelier, 1 to 3 inches. Rutland, 2 to 4 inches. Brattleboro, down in the southern part of the state, 3 to 6 inches. Maine, Portland, you are looking at 5 to 10 inches Sunday into Monday. South Portland, Cape Elizabeth, Scarborough, 6 to 11 inches. Westbrook, Gorham, 5 to 9 inches. Lewiston, Auburn, 4 to 8 inches. Augusta, the state capital, 5 to 9 inches. Bangor, 4 to 8 inches. But down the coast, down east, Maine, Bar Harbor, 6 to 12 inches. Ellsworth, 6 to 11 inches. Machias, 7 to 12 inches. Calais, up on the Canadian border, 6 to 10 inches. And then this storm continues northeast and absolutely buries the Canadian Maritimes. St. John, New Brunswick, 11 to 17 inches Monday. Fredericton, 9 to 15 inches. Moncton, 12 to 18 inches. Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, 13 to 19 inches. But the big one is Halifax, Nova Scotia. You are going to get crushed. 19 to 27 inches with sustained winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour and gusts potentially over 85 miles per hour. This is going to be one of the worst storms Halifax has seen in a generation. Now, the cold. Let me talk about just how brutally cold it is going to be after this storm. Sunday morning, we are going to have temperatures in the teens and 20s across almost the entire eastern third of the United States. And I'm not talking about wind chills. I'm talking about actual air temperatures. Tallahassee, Florida, 24 degrees. Jacksonville, 30 degrees. Orlando, 36 degrees. Tampa, this is the big story. You could see a hard freeze at 32 degrees, maybe even 31 in some of the northern suburbs. This is catastrophic for citrus. The National Weather Service in Tampa is calling this an extremely hazardous freeze event. Bring in sensitive plants, protect your citrus trees if possible, make sure your pipes are insulated. Further north, the cold is going to be absolutely vicious. Atlanta, 20 degrees Sunday morning. Birmingham, 19. Nashville, 17. Memphis, 15 degrees with a wind chill near 0. Charlotte, 22 degrees with a wind chill around 10. Raleigh, 24 degrees with a wind chill around 12. These are dangerous temperatures for the south. And then up north, it gets even worse. Louisville, where people are still without power from the last storm, 10 degrees with a wind chill below zero. Cincinnati, 8 degrees. Indianapolis, 4 degrees with a wind chill of -10. Columbus, 6 degrees. Detroit, -1 degree. Chicago, 0 degrees with a wind chill of -20. Milwaukee, -2 with a wind chill of -25. This is life-threatening cold if you are without heat. The Northeast, brutal cold everywhere. New York City, 18 degrees Sunday morning with a wind chill around 5. Philadelphia, 16 degrees with a wind chill near 0. Boston, 12 degrees with a wind chill of -5. Portland, Maine, 6 degrees with a wind chill of -15. Burlington, Vermont, -12 degrees. Albany, -10. Syracuse, -8. This is the kind of cold that can cause frostbite in minutes if you are exposed. The question everyone wants answered, when does this pattern break? When do we get relief? And the answer is not anytime soon for the East Coast. The Central Plains, you will see temperatures moderate by the middle of next week. Omaha, Kansas City, Des Moines, you will be back to near normal or slightly above by next Thursday or Friday. The South, Dallas, Houston, Memphis, New Orleans, you will recover next week. But the East Coast, I do not have good news. This trough, this pattern, is locked in place. The long-range models are showing below-average temperatures continuing through at least the first full week of February, possibly into the second week. We might get a day here or there where we sneak back to seasonal norms, but sustained warmth does not look likely until mid-February at the earliest. So here is what you need to do. Prepare today, prepare tomorrow. If you are in the impact zone, stock up on everything you need now. Food that does not require cooking in case you lose power. Water, at least a gallon per person per day for 3 days. Medications, make sure you have enough. Flashlights, batteries, candles. If you have a generator, test it today. Make sure it works. And please, please, never run a generator indoors or in an attached garage. Every single storm we see, deaths from carbon monoxide poisoning. Generators go outside, at least 20 feet from your house, away from windows and doors. Layer your clothing if you lose power. Multiple thin layers trap more heat than one thick layer. Close off rooms you are not using to concentrate heat where you are. Eat and drink regularly. Your body needs fuel to generate heat. Check on your neighbors, especially elderly neighbors or those who live alone. Make sure they have what they need. Make sure they have a plan. For travel, my advice is simple. Do not. If you do not absolutely have to be on the roads Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, stay home. The roads are going to be dangerous. Snow-covered, icy, reduced visibility, wind causing blowing and drifting snow. This is how accidents happen. This is how people die. If you absolutely must travel, go slow, leave extra following distance, no sudden movements, and make sure someone knows your route and when to expect you. For flights, expect chaos. Widespread cancellations Saturday and Sunday at every major airport on the East Coast. If you are flying Monday, it is probably going to be a mess too because of the backlog. Check your flight status obsessively. Arrive at the airport extra early. Have backup plans. Be patient with airline staff. They are dealing with the same weather you are. The bottom line, this is a dangerous, significant winter storm. The snow is one thing, but the cold that follows is just as serious. People die in weather like this. Hypothermia, carbon monoxide poisoning, house fires from unsafe heating, car accidents, medical emergencies where help cannot get through. This is not hype. This is reality. Take it seriously, prepare appropriately, and look out for each other. Tomorrow I will have updated model data, refined snow totals, and I am going through all of your comments giving personalized forecasts. Drop your city in the comments right now. If things develop in a way that warrants it, I might go live Saturday for real-time coverage. Thank you for trusting me with your forecast. Stay safe, stay warm, and I will see you tomorrow.